While the Travis Walton abduction caused worldwide interest in 1975 when he was snatched from an Arizona forest by aliens watched by his horrified crew, another similar incident occurred near Richmond, Virginia, just 6 years later, and it went virtually unnoticed and unreported. Bruce Cornet was snatched from his work trailer and returned there 1 hour later. His crew were completely oblivious to what was happening to him, and Bruce is going to join us to tell us what happened. Hi, Bruce.
Hi, Dean. Thank you for having me on your show.
It's a pleasure. This happened a long time ago, almost 40 years from the day we're recording this interview. It happened, you call it the well site abduction incident. I just wanted to ask first, was that your first abduction experience?
No, but it was the first one I remembered in detail after a regression in 1995, hypnotic regression. I didn't know that I had actually been abducted, although all the indications were that I was. I mean, when I was returned to the trailer, my drill crew, which witnessed it happen, they had found me missing, and I didn't believe them. I thought that I had missed seeing the UFO that had been hovering over the cut forest next to the well site. And I was very angry and in a lot of pain after I was returned, and hypothermic. And I was in so much pain that I wanted to just go back to the trailer, back to the motel and sleep it off and get some pain relief. And I forgot about it after that because I thought I'd missed the whole event, but I was the main subject, and didn't realize that until I began learning about abductions in 1992 and 93. For the first time, I began suspecting that, based on the information I had written down in my well log, that there had been a craft there, and that I might have been the subject of an abduction.
Right. You say, I was reading your notes, and you said that you hadn't even heard of alien abductions before you actually found out what had happened to you, but you also referred to Travis Walton's case a couple of times in your correspondence. And did you see some similarities between your case and his?
Well, yes. Even though it was an industrial operation, clearing forests for Travis Walton was part of their job. I was there in the middle of a forest drilling a well in search of oil. And the forest around us, a large part of it had already been cut and was just a lot of stumps of trees around. And that was the similarity that I saw because it took place away from a city, and people, it wouldn't be something that it would be observed or by others at the time. But unlike Travis Walton's case, where they saw this light in the forest, and Travis went to investigate in the case, he came straight for me and took me, and I was the target all along. That is a major difference between my case and his case.
Right. Well, let's. Did you mind actually running through the incident, what actually happened, the way you were taken, and then what happened on the ship?
I wrote all this up after the regression. I transcribed it and have it on a website. And if you don't mind, I can read from that and give you very specific information on what was happening. Is that all right with you?
Okay, yep, that's fine.
All right. I'm going to start here when I was in the hypnotist chair of Fred Max, who regressed me. He also regressed Betty, Andreas, and Luca about her abductions that had occurred earlier. So Fred Max says, "You have told Rich to get you. If anything occurred, imagine yourself at that place, October 1st, 1981. Imagine where you were then, and you can imagine yourself as close or as far from the situation as you would like. Sometimes we can imagine as though we were there. Sometimes we can imagine as though we were watching it occurring to somebody else, or like a movie. We have this ability to bring ourselves closer and further and maintain our level of comfort. Imagine yourself lying down in the top bunk. You are there, going to there at about 10:30 p.m. You just told Rich to get in touch with you if something happened, and you go and lie down. Now, the craft had shown up the night before, and that's why people were excited. The drill crew were interested in if the craft would come back the night that I was sleeping in the bunk. As I relax you, Fred Max says, imagine yourself being there. Imagine the feelings you had then, and as if I ask you, and as I ask you questions, you will be able to answer without affecting your trance. And when I say relax, you will allow yourself to relax and feel the feelings of your whole body. Excuse me. Feeling a peaceful wave of relaxation. As I count from 1 to 3, imagine yourself in the top bunk and imagine having the feeling of being able to speak freely and answer my questions. 1, 2, 3. What is happening? Fred asks. I'm trying to sleep and I'm very, very tired. I'm worried that if something happens, they won't come and get me. But I fall fast asleep and somebody touches me and I roll over thinking that it's Rich who has come to get me. I was breathing heavily. It's not Rich. It's somebody else there. Somebody is looking at me. He's different. He's not human. His eyes, I can't stop looking at his eyes, breathing heavily. I'm very upset. Fred Max, remember, whatever did happen, it happened. You're okay. Allow yourself to receive the information without needing to invest in it. I responded, there's more than one. Fred, okay. I say, they're touching me. They're taking the blanket off me, and a hand comes from my right, and there is something in the hand, metallic, sort of like aluminum, but darker. It touches my forehead. I see sparks. I see light, and then I feel very different. And then I see 2 more faces over me. They're starting to move me. I don't know how they're moving me. I think they're holding on to me. I feel them holding onto me, onto my arms. Fred says, how does it feel? And I say, tight. Fred says, how tight? I say, like a firm grasp. It's almost uncomfortable. And the temperature of that which is touching you, cool, cooler than my body temperature, I said. Fred asks, a little or a lot? I say, a lot. It's soft though, like silk, like silk. I continue, and it's wrapped all around my arms, the fingers. His hand on my right arm and a hand on my left arm. And Fred asks, from the same source? I say, no, the one on my right is holding his right arm, my right arm, and right hand, and the one on my left is holding me with his left hand, and the one over me, I think he has his hands on my hips. I'm not sure, but he's in that position. I can't feel very much there. I can't feel as much as I've felt before. I feel tingly all over. Fred, your eyes, are you seeing them? I say, yes, but they're dark. It's dark there. It's very dark. And so they almost shadows like ghosts, but their eyes are so black. They're blacker than the darkness. Fred, and what are they wearing? I can't tell. I can only see their heads. They're starting to move over me. I feel as if I'm floating. I don't understand. I don't understand what's going on, but they do not look frightening. Fred, while you are floating, are they still grasping you? I say, yes, Fred. So you're all floating together? I say, yes. Fred, how many of you are there? And I say, 4. At what speed? I say, we're starting to move. Oh my God, they're moving me through the glass of the window. Oh, that's so weird. I breathe heavily. They're telling me not to be afraid. I see them coming through the glass with me. I breathe hard. I see the glass passing through my body, and I don't feel anything. I think I should be cut by the glass, but I don't feel anything. Fred, what gender are they? I say, the one who looked into my eyes first, he's on my left, holding my left arm. I sense that he's a male. The one on my right, holding my right arm, I sense that she's female. The one over me, and now he has his right arm on my right leg, upper thigh. He's male too. And we're floating past the trailer. We're starting to rise up, and there's this light. There's this strange light. It's getting brighter and brighter, and I'm looking around as best as I can. I can see the trailer disappearing below me, and then the drilling rig moving off into the distance.
Bruce, can I interrupt? Can I just interrupt? What about the crew? Were the crew, did they notice any of this going on?
Yes, they were ended up all underneath that in the corner of the well site, all huddled together, looking up at me and watching me. And after this was over, they described in detail what they saw me being transported by these small beings in a beam of light into the craft.
Okay.
I'll continue. But they don't feel real. There's something. I don't feel like this is happening. I don't understand. The one on my right, she comes over and looks into my eyes, and I feel a sense of love and peace. I feel that we're floating upwards. We're going closer to this light. I'm having a hard time seeing because I'm looking up at the stars, and there's this light bouncing off of them, the ETs. Where are you now? Fred asks. I respond, I feel I'm inside a room. It's a long, dark, it's no longer dark outside. It's light all around me. There are more than these beings walking around. They have me in some sort of a table, moving me. I'm moving down this hall, and they're walking next to me. I'm trying to look at their faces. Now, in the light, they're so pale. They almost look like ghosts. They're so pale, almost white. They're all small, with big heads, small, spindly bodies. I see one now. He's doing something. He's doing something with some tools or instruments. I feel I'm on a table. I'm trying to ascertain if I'm awake or not. There is one who looks into my eyes, and he's calming me down. Strange eyes. And they're taking off my clothes, and I feel them taking my clothes off. And the table is cold, and there's some more. They come over on my right side. This one's standing next to my head, looking at me. He leans over me, and then he stands up. And another one next to him, to his right. And he is doing something, waiting for them. The one on my left is who is bringing over some instruments. The one who is looking into my eyes keeps on telling me not to be afraid. Fred, with what attitude is that said? I respond, with a lovingness. It's like he knows who I am. Fred, what are they doing? What's happening? I respond, I'm seeing more of the room now, and I see them moving around and moving very quickly, and I don't know what they're doing because I can't see what they're doing. I can only see where they are relative to my body. I feel them touching me on my abdomen and around my genitals, and they are doing something there. And the one with the instruments, he's come between my legs, and he is doing something there. And I begin to feel some pain. And the one to my right, he looks again into my eyes, and the pain starts to go away, but I can still feel it. I'm seeing this in a detached way right now. I feel like it's happening with me, but I'm not, I'm like more of an observer. I don't remember seeing these beings before. They're different from those that I've seen before. And Fred asked, recently before? And I said, yes. Fred continues, describe who that you're with now. I'm still with the one on my right side, and he's been there all the time. He wants to make sure I'm comfortable and not in pain. I'm surprised by the way they look. They don't look like what I thought they should look like. They look more wrinkled on their foreheads, and their eyes are not as big as the typical ones I've seen before, and they're all the same color, as if they are not wearing any clothes. They're all in this chalky white color. They look so strange. And I feel them stimulating me. I'm having an orgasm. Fred asks, does it feel good? And I say, yes. At first it feels good, but they keep on making me have an orgasm, and it's getting more and more painful. I can't stop. And I start crying out, stop. And the one next to me looks into my eyes, and I don't like him looking into my eyes. Fred asks, what are you reacting to? I respond, he's right on top of me now. He's right over me, almost as if he's climbed up on top of me. And he has his head right on top of mine, and he's looking straight down into me. Fred, you know for sure it is a he? And I said, yes. How? Fred asks. I have a very strong negative reaction to him. I feel repulsed by him. I feel very warm and close to the woman, and she's down by my legs. Fred asks, is she communicating with you? I respond, she's telling me how good it feels. And Fred asks, how good what feels? And I respond, the orgasm. Fred asks, is she involved in it with you? I respond, I can't see. I feel this pressure on me down there. I can't tell for sure, but she is telling me how good it feels and to continue. I don't think she is having intercourse with me. I think she wants me to come more. Fred asks, how is your sperm being collected? I respond, there's this tube that comes over my right thigh and goes into something on my right. I can feel her hand on my penis. They're collecting so much. Finally, it's over. I'm so relieved. Now they're shining something in my eyes. Fred, are you being held down? And I respond, I can't move. Fred, do you know how and why? I respond, I don't know. When one climbed up on top of me, he had his hands on my arms as if he was trying to hold me down. Fred, what's the ambient temperature in relationship to what you expect? I responded, it feels cold. I feel warmth of the lights from above, but I still feel cold. Fred, is there still something on top of you, someone on top of you? I respond, no, it's over. Fred, what were they doing on top of you? I respond, holding me down and looking into my eyes. I think I tried to resist. I wanted to stop them. It was hurting so much. I felt something being put inside my scrotum. I felt them push it through my skin. And, and the one on my right, over and looked, he came over me and looked at me. He said, this will help you have a normal ejaculation. And Fred asked, you normally had normal ejaculations, right? And I responded, no. Okay. Fred responded, it was very difficult for me to have a normal ejaculation, and it was usually somewhat painful. And I'd almost thought I was sterile ever since an accident, a childhood accident at age 12 that put me on the operating table for 5 hours, and which caused one of my testicles to atrophy. The pain in my scrotum is going away, although my testicles ache more than they've ever ached before. Fred, do they talk to each other? I say, I don't hear any sounds. Fred, is there a leader among them? I respond, the one who had instruments. They are all so similar. The beings look so similar. Fred, more similar than? And I respond, than the small grays that I've seen before and the tall grays. They're different. They're all sort of alike, like as in clones. The one distinction is that one of them is talking to the others. He stays on my left side, and the others are on my right side and watching him, and I know he's communicating with them. The only one that I can hear in my head is the one who is looking over me. Fred, does he have an accent? I respond, no, he doesn't say much. I'd ask him and he doesn't answer. He just tells me, calm down, everything is going to be all right. It will be over soon. And he looks into my eyes and I feel him controlling me. I feel my fear and pain go away when he does, but the pain comes back soon after he stops. Fred, what does he do to alleviate your pain? I respond, he looks into my eyes. His skin is so wrinkled and I feel peace, a sense of pleasure and peace takes over my body. I feel like I'm inside my head. Excuse me. About that. Let me go back. He looks into my eyes and I feel him controlling me. I feel my fear and pain go away when he does, but the pain comes back as soon after he stops. Fred. And what happens next? They tell me to get off the table and I'm standing there. And they tell me to put my clothes back on, and they move the table. They move the table. They come move it, and they put it over on the side of the room. And one of them helps me get dressed. It's the woman. I feel very comfortable with her, but I don't feel comfortable with the others. Fred, why do you feel comfortable with her? I respond, because she likes me. And the others? I feel this, it's like an anger, but it's not an anger. It's kind of a feeling when you know when somebody doesn't want to be close to you. And the woman wants to be close to me. Fred, do you know her? I respond, she seems similar or familiar, but I can't be sure where I've seen her before. Fred, does anyone else there seem familiar? I respond, one of the other males. I may have been with him before, but I can't be sure. then I finally say, what made me feel so uncomfortable being on the table was that I did not recognize the doctor who did the operation. And the one who bent over me, I'm seeing him again. He's very methodical, not like he cares about me. Then they take me down this hall. I'm walking with them. And when we get to this room, they tell me this is where they're going to take me back. And this time, only two of them holding onto me. And they touch my forehead again with that metal rod. And then there's this bright light, and I'm floating down. I feel us floating down. And I feel the trailer coming closer and closer. And the one on my right, who is the one who leaned over me, he tells me not to be afraid as they pass me through the window again. And I don't like that. And we're on the top of bunk again. And we feel, and I feel them dropping me into the bunk. And they do something. The one on my right does something, and I feel I'm no longer paralyzed. And then I begin to feel my pain, and I start tossing and turning, and I'm very cold. And I put the blanket over me, but doesn't do any good. I'm shivering, I'm shaking, I curl up in a fetal position, and I get very angry that I can't get back to sleep. And I'm angry that I had these nightmares. And I get out of bed, and I put on my boots, and I walk out into the front of the trailer, and I want to know what's going on. I want somebody to tell me why it's so cold, but nobody's there. And I'm upset that nobody's there. And my testicles ache. They ache very badly, and I don't know why. And I open up the door and look out, and I look at the drilling rig and drilling platform, and there's nobody on the platform. I want to know why. This is a 24/7 drilling operation. I look around to the side, and I see everybody clustered together out there like a huddle, looking up into the sky. And I see some lights move away quickly, and then they turn and start walking back towards me.